We are in a class, we're taking a class together at the Schwami campus, and it's in regards to project-based learning. And so we are doing a project group project, and our defining question has to do with the Fitt principle, F-I-T-T. And so part of our contribution was to interview local people who would be people of expertise or in that area, in that field. So that's why we're here.
And that's the frequency, intensity.
Frequency, intensity, time, and type. So, do you want me to read through the questions and give you a few minutes to kind of collect your thoughts about what you might want to say on it?
I might be able to answer pretty quick. So,
our first question is, what do you know about the Fitt principle?
Lots. There's frequency, intensity, time. You know, all that is, every program is based off of it, every single one. You can't have a program without it. You can't tell somebody to exercise and just do it. Do it for 3 days, don't stop. You know, everything has to be structured.
Okay.
Everything. So there really isn't, I don't actually know of a program that doesn't have some form of guideline, rep range, intensity, have anything.
Okay, so our second question is, how do you incorporate that principle with your clients?
Off of body type. Body type, physical condition, previous physical condition, and their goals. A program is completely different based on what somebody wants to do. So if, like, for say, you have a high school kid in football, and you have to mix the strength with a lot of cardiovascular endurance because they're running nonstop. Whereas if you had, in the same sense, high school powerlifter, cardiovascular, it's always good to have cardiovascular health, but it's not as important to be able to run the 40-yard dash in a certain amount of time. For a powerlifter, you only have to lift something once. You know, there's only three lifts they have to do per flight, so it's completely different. You do your intensity, the type of training, and what exercise you do would all be different for just the same high school kid, depending on what sport he's doing. Based on the desired outcome. Exactly.
What part of the Fitt principle do your clients struggle with the most? Is it frequency, the intensity of a workout, the time, or the type of exercise you think that gives them?
I would say intensity.
And what kind of feedback do you get from people on that?
Well, with new clients, it's usually how hard something is. Like you're going to have a faster result the higher your intensity is, no matter what you do. And when first starting out, going to a certain level of intensity is usually what people struggle with the most. And you should work your way up into it, but even in those small steps, I would say intensity is the thing that is the first thing either people would complain about or struggle with. Is you need to do this for 35 minutes. After 20 minutes, they just don't want to do it anymore, kind of a thing. So I would pick intensity.
Okay. And how do you help them overcome that obstacle?
I usually explain what they get as a result of doing it. Like how much quicker or how much quicker they'll reach their goal by just adhering to what they're supposed to do, and by putting in the work, even though it may be hard, how much faster they'll get what they actually want. So usually base it off of their goal, remind them of what they're doing.
Could you give us 4 examples of exercise that busy people can incorporate into their daily lives to get that Fitt principle?
Absolutely. One would be for cardio, is incline training, I would say. You could walk flat for, say, a mile and burn X number of calories, depending on your fitness level. You can walk on an incline for half a mile, usually burn more. So you can lower your time in a busy schedule and actually achieve more results by just changing the type of cardio you do. And the incline training, usually a treadmill, would be far more effective than running or walking for fat burning, which is a lot of people's goal. So that would be one. The second one would be for like an athlete, like a high school kid doesn't have much time either after school, homework, or before school, would be core movements. I do a lot of that with high school kids. It would be just focus on 2 or 3 exercises that provide the most benefit that they can do. I mean, there's countless exercises per body part that people can do that you can put them on. But when you crunch time, there's usually a small handful of them that are the most effective or can yield the quickest results. I'd focus on those for that situation. Then third, for like the busier adult, like we have a lot of teachers around that come in and they have lots of stuff they have to do, we consolidate, meaning do more like body part different exercises in one day and make it quicker. You can do things like superset type programs where you're doing, like say, a chest exercise, a back exercise, and leg exercise, like in a row. Where if you did them separately, you could spend an hour on each. You do them all together, they're all done in an hour, kind of a thing. So I've made programs up like that as well. And did I need one more?
One more.
One more. Interval training for people that want to work on their running, cross-country kids, football kids, to do interval training where you would run flat out for 1 minute, walk for 1 minute, run for 1 minute, walk for 1 minute. You can take 20 minutes, and if you were to jog or run for 20 minutes, it is not going to be the same as if you're sprinting, then power walking, sprinting, power walking. It is, you'll see, if you do both with someone, they're going to find the interval training with speed to be far harder, far more challenging. And it also, 20 minutes of sprinting and walking, is, they're done. So you can have a very short amount of time and get a lot more intensity done for, like, say, a runner.
All right, I'm going to throw in an extra question. Say if somebody had only 3 to 7 minutes, somewhere in there, and they wanted to do something quick, maybe while they were watching TV or maybe in the classroom with students, what would be a couple of quick 2 exercises that they could do in the classroom to kind of get blood flowing and people thinking?
3 to 7 minutes. Anyone who would like to do jumping jacks for 3 to 7 minutes, it's hard. Your shoulders hurt, everything hurts. That exercise rapidly gets hard. And if you're going to do something, I've went to the school and done it with the grade school kids before and did exercise with them. Push-ups, sit-ups, and jumping jacks. Very few people have an easy time doing those exercises for over 5 minutes. So you are tired and at getting a good workout with any of those in a very short period of time, and you need no equipment to do them. You can have any form of space, just make a little bit of space and you're good to go.
All right. Are there other principles that Fitt doesn't incorporate that you feel are important? Something that you would add additionally to it?
Well, they have time in there because recovery is very important. A lot of people don't focus on their recovery, but I would put that in there with the time. Time to me isn't just, in that principle, time to me isn't just how long you were training. It would also be how long you should wait before you do that same thing again. So I would say recovery, but if I was teaching somebody about it, I would have included it in there the first time. But the recovery is something very overlooked, recovery and nutrition. If you don't eat right and don't recover enough, nothing you do is going to really benefit you the way you want.
Okay. Do you have any additional questions?
I think that about covers what we talked about.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
See, it was pretty painless, wasn't it?